I was incarcerated 18 years. I was in the county jail for 6 years fighting my case, and then I went to prison around the age of 22, 23. There's no vegetation in there, so I was blessed to be in one of the places where they had a few trees, 3 amber trees, a pine tree, the bottle bush tree, but it was the pink kind, and then just a few bushes and some grass. Michelle said, "Hey, do you want to be on the watering committee?" And I said, "Sure." And they would allot me a time where one of the rarest times that the prison was still because everybody was locked in. And so I would go out and begin to interact with the trees and the grass. And I just felt a sense of peace and calmness. And I just felt like this is what I was supposed to be, interacting with trees and plants. And so I remember I would start talking to the trees and saying, "Hey, Mr. Tree, I'm here to water you." You know, when you're inside, your imagination is key. I just got lost in that for a moment, and it just brought me wonder and joy at the time. I was released June 26, 2021, 3 years ago. From the time I got arrested to the time I went home was 18 years. After being incarcerated for 18 years, I'm a butterfly. I'm coming out of my cocoon, and I want to experience life and understand my wings. I got introduced to Brendan, and he taught me about gardening. And he trusted me with the garden, and I remember he said, "Okay, I'll bring her in." Took me to this beautiful property, and they had a huge garden, and he's like, "Well, we're gonna tend the garden." I had no experience other than watering the plants. And I remember the first assignment that he gave me was an azalea, and I butchered the azalea. That was the beginning of my healing. Being in that garden, being able to be free with no sanctions, no restrictions, interacting with myself through the trees and the plants. And that was the beginning of my true reentry. That was the beginning of my true healing. And I fell in love with it. And I said, "Hey, I want to give this to other people because this is the way that you heal. You ground yourself. You get back to the true essence of yourself through the soil, through the plants." So we started working with youth, and I had a vision to actually start a landscape gardening company. My students planted these from seeds. I had a workforce development where I'm teaching them the basics of landscaping and gardening. We purchased these hydroponics, and they planted them as seeds, and I take pictures of their progress. And then I'm going to get a raised bed at the school so that we can do a planting there. My target was women reentry. And I just kept trying to get women. I got a few women, but it was like iffy. And then all these youth were coming to me with these needs, immediate needs. So I said, okay, let's hire the youth. My nonprofit is called 10 Pearls of Egypt. I wanted to create something to help them to lift themselves up and feel good about, and then show them, you know, something different. And my main basis was always the healing aspect of it. And then I provide opportunities. I have landscaping equipment, gardening equipment. I have clients purchase 3 hydroponic systems. I purchase raised beds, grow lights, everything. So I'm gonna take them from the seed. We even got a blender so that we can blend the leaves, and I can show them a few herbal remedies, how to make it from the things that you grow. So we'll be going from a seed until the raised beds. Most important things that I think that I do is working with the youth, just trying to encourage them to become their best self, guiding them, mentoring them, counseling them, teaching them about gardening and landscaping. And I utilize gardening and landscaping as a way to help them to get back in touch with the true nature of themselves. My favorite plant is bougainvillea. Why is it bougainvillea? Because when I was doing a gardening job, I remember the bougainvilleas, the pink ones, they had wrapped themselves into a tree. And so I literally had to put a ladder, pull it out. And I didn't know prior to this that they had thorns about this long. And it taught me a lesson at that time. And I said, wow, it's not about dethorning it, but it's about handling it with the thorns. Care for it with its thorns and not get poked. It's about people at the end of the day. And so some people come with thorns, but they're so bright and beautiful and vibrant. But when you get coached, you're like, whoa, I didn't know that thorn existed. So I don't attempt to dethorn the people. I attempt to understand how to embrace their beauty with their thorns.